evaluation, I suspect another x-ray. I know it turned a little bit because I'm thinking during the game that he's out for the year, that he's broke. And there's nobody misled me. I put 2 and 3 together and got 6. But I think I think now it has a, I think now he has an opportunity to still be in the mix.
Does that change your dynamic at all about what you may?
Well,
do,
I think
that
I think we have to always have an emergency plan. It probably brings our emergency plan a little more reality, and I don't mind saying what emergency plan is. I mean, we are a little thin at corner, but I think Denzel Bynum is proving that he's credible. We thought we were starting with 3. You know, when you get to 2, it feels a lot different than 3. You know, Duncan is giving us a credible performance ever since he's been here. But still, it's thin enough that we're going to take Rashad Byers and just make sure that he can get some work. And because Rashad saw enough in the fall, we worked him out there, saw him enough. I mean, he can help. So I think our guys, I mean, he's an extremely talented athlete, very competitive. Don't want to take his head out of being a running back. We need to get him the ball. We need to get him in games as a player when he's ready to play.
Just to stretch this just a little bit,
Yeah.
when they looked at Book's X-ray Saturday, Sunday, did they not see a break? Or
I really don't have an answer to that because, you know, if you've ever looked at an X-ray, it's a cloud.
Yeah, right.
And I've looked at enough of them for somebody to say, there it is, and I didn't see it. So, you know, whether it was cloudy, uncloudy, and some of these things are diagonal, they're not vertical, you know. I think it takes, I can remember sitting with the best doctors in the world, and half their time is spent with some other physician sending them an x-ray so they can cross-check this cloud that's floating in there. So they got to maybe take another one from a different angle or read it, one or the other.
So, and
for some reason, it wasn't definitive, and I can't. I'm not a doctor.
Tell yet whether if you think he might still be in the mix a little bit Saturday, or
you know, I think it's like all really good doctors will tell you, and I've been around doctors. Quite honestly, I have a pre-med degree, so I think what they tell you, if they have to, you know, they have to take the factual with the touching it, and next day what it feels like, and how much they can move. You're cross-checking a lot of different pieces of information, and 2 has to back up 1, and 3 has to back up 1 and 2. And you may start with 1, but if you don't get 2, and then you're going to get 3, you go back and look at 1 again. You know, so we don't do that in play calling. You got 5 seconds.
it's considering who you're playing. I know you talked about them with their runners. If you're not aware of their whole offense, you can get caught running away. But everybody's going to see Brockman. They're going to see the 600 yards he threw against Tennessee State.
Yeah.
That's a difficult situation for you to be in with your secondary, considering who you're playing.
Well, except our guys can play, or have we played good enough to play against them? And I'm glad we weren't playing them a couple of times we played, but we playing them this week. Am I worried about one of their guys against this guy or against a safety? No. Am I diligent to make sure that we're in the right place, playing as good as we can play? What they have proved is they know exactly what they're doing, and they do it really, really well, okay? What we proved is, not that we can't do anything, we proved that we have inconsistent execution on our back end. But if you'll keep your blinders on, it's been getting better.
And is theirs all down the field stuff from what you've seen in
No.
film, or is it underneath and then
It's
they do a lot of-
it's a primarily first level, second intermediate level, deep, and they're working it from the short side to the deep side. Will they throw it down there? You bet they will. But you're looking at what what a lot of people will call a over the hand sweep. You, instead of tossing it out there and run at the corner, you throw it, and we do the same thing. It's just that lateral, that horizontal passing game kind of thing. I tell you what you got to do. You got to tackle.
Well, if you can keep the ball 32 to 35 minutes,
That would help. That would help.
That doesn't bode well for the receivers now this week, 'cause, that's how you.
Well, listen, I've got some one-dimensional aspects of my personality, but let me tell you what, you don't score a lot of points when you get one-dimensional. And we don't need to go out there and not be ready to score points. We're not going to shut these guys out now. We want one more point than they got when the game is over with. We're not going to, if it takes 38 to 37, that's what we're going to do. You make a big mistake to go into this game thinking that you get one-dimensional and keep the pace. And we're not going to do it.
Coop, from an offensive standpoint, would you be comfortable, or do you feel comfortable if you have to get in a shootout with these guys, when you have a lot of points, that kind of thing? How comfortable are you if that arose?
Yeah, we're comfortable with it because our offense is capable of doing a lot of things because we have a lot of playmakers, a lot of good athletes on offense. So I think we can keep over anybody in shootouts.
We've been in them before.
Yeah.
And Francis, when you had seen that their quarterback threw for the 600 yards 2 weeks ago, as a guy playing in the secondary, what did you think just of that scenario when you read all about that?
I just started at the secondary as a defense. We have to step up this week, just do a good job. I know Coach Boone is going to put us in the right position. We're going to practice all that practice every week like we have been. And everything's just going to keep working hard, and I think we'll be in the right position. We just got to make a play.
I can't fathom somebody throwing, like an NFL guy maybe, but what's it like? Wow.
You don't see an NFL team throw for 600 yards. Has there ever been one? There is. I never heard. A great NFL quarterback performance is 300 yards. It's freaky. I don't fathom it either. But we got film in there if you want to watch it. And it's on that film. And they didn't start out they just executed their offense. It's the same offense that got 600 yards that, got whatever he got the first week, 250 yards passing against Louisville. 350 more yards with they're running the same pass routes. It really tells you the difficulty of the matchups is what it tells you. And if you don't get it matched up right, it can work. You'll get beat on preparation and organization of practice. If you don't organize the practice right, because this would be, like us sitting in here talking about playing Georgia Tech. It's different. And you better get different. If you don't, you don't organize yourself to take the uncertainty out of your players' game set, game mind, then they can get 600 on them.
It's a guy I'm going to ask Coach Crowe this.
Yeah.
As a guy who is an offensive guy, break down the Brockman kid on why he is such a dynamic quarterback. I guess I want you to get technical.
Well, I get technical with you. He makes great decisions. And he's a local walk-on. Him playing there is like a Jacksonville High School quarterback walking on over here and one day set 2 school records. He was right there, and they had a scholarship. So it wasn't height, weight, and speed. There was something that didn't quite connect. But what you don't know in evaluation of a quarterback is how good they're going to make decisions in your system at the speed of the game that's being played on your field. And the thing that he does is he has great run-pass balance within himself. He could have run for 200 yards by himself against Louisville. But they decided they weren't going to contain him. Mistake.
many catches balls too. I
Yeah.
think in the big game, he threw for 7, he caught for 1.
I would say this guy was probably sitting over there. In fact, I'll tell you a story. You want a story? But you won't want to know. Here it goes. Coach Spoo and I were talking. I just enjoyed talking to him. And one thing led to another. The great things that he had accomplished, and we got to Tony Romo. And I asked him, I said, when do you know that Tony Romo was a great quarterback, NFL caliber quarterback? He said when he started playing for the Cowboys. He said, I turned him down twice. He said, that my offensive coordinator said, just go watch him play basketball. And I'll tell you that I bet Brockman was over there wearing people out on the basketball floor. His athleticism, his sense of timing, his ability to play in space. The only thing they weren't seeing is that hand come over the top. I mean, you can just see that sometimes just general athleticism and mental abilities with decision making can make you, a really good quarterback.
Coop,
Is he a better runner than Coleman was?
Yes, yeah,
well,
yeah, he is a better runner.
Coop, when Coach